As the House of Commons backs the Northern Ireland Protocol override, of course we were expecting a backlash. Of course we were expecting a bit of a meltdown from the Ramona side, up to a point where Theresa May, the former Prime Minister, is now joining the EU Ramona side. The person who is actually responsible for all this mess that we've created, despite saying Brexit means Brexit. She stood up in the House of Commons as the Commons voted and backed the bill to override the protocol. There's something that was actually created by her, the first protocol, which was called the backstop. This is backstop 2.0. Firstly, she stood up using morality, saying that, of course, I also care about things to work out. Watch this.
I do not welcome this bill. I fully understand and indeed share the government's desire to uphold the Belfast Good Friday Agreement. I understand and share the desire to keep the union of the United Kingdom. I recognise the frustration and difficulty when the Northern Ireland Assembly and Executive are not in place and operating. And I also share the government's desire to get that Assembly and Executive back.
Okay, so she understands the desire. She really cares. She wants to do something to protect the integrity of the United Kingdom and help people in Northern Ireland. But what's the solution? Oh yeah, just surrender to the EU. Just say yes to whatever they say, because otherwise, if you do this, do you know what it is? You're breaking international law. Oh, so naughty.
I actually started off by asking myself three questions. First of all, do I consider this to be legal under international law? Second, will it achieve its aims? And third, does it at least maintain the standing of the United Kingdom in the eyes of the world? And my answer to all three of those questions is no.
You know what? I'm going to say something controversial. And it's been said before by people who are either legal-minded or just generally speaking at the top of the government. Just because something is law doesn't mean it's right. International law sometimes maybe should be broken at this point. Not broken as in terms of being a criminal, but change it. There are things that could be changed. There are memberships that you could withdraw from. There are certain conventions that could be rewritten. And there are agreements that could be overridden. It's there to be there to do that. Even the Constitution in America could be amended. So, let's talk about why the current international agreements and conventions are not right. Whether it's our membership of the European Convention, whether it's the Geneva Convention, to all the other agreements we've had on refugees and migration and everything else, including the Northern Ireland Protocol. Maybe it's time to have a conversation about why we have to change it so that it doesn't have to be a situation where we are breaking international law. The problem with that is that Theresa May then stood up and said, it's important to keep your word. Really? What about keeping your word to your own people, your own electorate and voters, the will of the people?
Standing in the world, our ability to convene and encourage others in the defence of our shared values depends on the respect others have for us as a country that keeps its word and displays those shared values in its actions. As a patriot, I would not want to do anything that would diminish this country in the eyes of the world.
This is a classic line that's been used by the elite over the last few years to shut us up, saying that whatever your view is on any issue, it's going to diminish Britain's position in the eyes of the world and on the international stage. That included voting to leave the EU. They said, well, that's it then. Britain is going to be a little England, Ireland, isolationist place. Okay. And then they said, if you don't join the jab program of the European Union, then it's bad and it's good and it's terrible and it's perfect. And what happened? The whole debate around the jabs and Pfizer, all that aside, we, by not being part of the EU program, we were able to actually order and receive the jabs faster than any other European country. So that aside, being part of clubs doesn't mean that you're going to have the respect of people from around the world. Yes, you might have the respect of Justin Trudeau and Emmanuel Macron, but I don't really care about having their respect. I think I care more about keeping your word to your own people. If you make a promise to your own people, Theresa May, you broke those promises, but you kept your promises when it came to your friends at the World Economic Forum. And that's my final word. Subscribe to the channel. I'm Tousi and we are the media.